I'm Beau from GrowActive Solutions. Thank you very much for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking to Eric Maxwell from Royal Gold. So I'd like to introduce Eric Maxwell. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, doing well. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, a little bit about Royal Gold?
Yeah. So I've been working with Royal Gold since about 2014 now. I'm the territory manager for the Midwest and the East Coast. Royal Gold's been around since I believe about 2007 was the inception of the company out in Humboldt. And we make all premium cocoa fiber based potting soils and just launched into some organic registered nutrition as well.
Awesome. Yeah, the crown jewels is really exciting.
We're definitely excited about it, having the CDFA registration, the OMRI listing. We've been working on it for a few years here, and we're super excited to get it out to the market and get in customers' hands.
Nice, nice. Well, let's, I guess, back up a little bit. We'll go over some of the soils, right? And then we'll get into maybe how somebody would start to use, the crown jewels with it. Because I know I've been using Royal Gold for like 20 years at this point,
Nice.
right? I remember the first time being in Humboldt, walking into a grow shop and seeing basement mix and just being like, wait, I grow in my basement. That's what I need to be using, right?
Right.
So why don't you tell us about some of like the different mixes and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, back in I think 2007-ish, the inception of the company, a couple of the reasons were the guys that developed it weren't happy with the quality and the consistency of mediums specifically for cannabis at the time. Also, a big driving factor was to use cocoa, a sustainably harvested byproduct from another industry, as opposed to arguably non-renewable peat moss, where the bogs may renew. It will take a long time. And also, when you harvest those bogs, you release a lot of greenhouse gases up into the environment.
Yes.
So, a good sustainable alternative for that. Um, in the mixes that we do have, we try and source as much locally or regionally, again, as sustainably harvested byproducts from other industries. The great fishing in Northern California, forestry, obviously, anything that we can try and source as, a waste product from another industry.
Absolutely.
So we've got a few different mixes, all cocoa fiber based, and we've got everything from straight cocoa fiber, um, a hydroponic style mix in our tuber, which is our flagship product, our most popular.
Yep.
The King's Mix is our only cocoa peat blend, only one of our mixes that has any peat in there. And then we also have a couple organically amended mixes in the basement and the Mendo, a little bit more organic nutrition in those, a level of compost, so a little bit heavier. The basement, more of a traditional all-purpose type
Oh,
potting soil, where the Mendo mix doesn't have the aggregate in there and is kind of designed to be an outdoor, full sun, raised beds, my vegetables love it type thing.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, we were just talking about before this about how we're both doing, some cool things with the Mendo mix and just, your vegetables are loving it. I'm doing a fun experiment, seeing how far I can push a plant with Mendo mix.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, like I said, I've been using basement mix for years. And I absolutely love that stuff. It's got the nice charge to it, but not too much, so you can still feed your liquids, right?
absolutely.
And then really the King's Mix and Basement are pretty much charged very similar, correct?
Yeah, the Kings is going to have a little bit less than the basement. It kind of goes the stepping stone for nutrition and water retention in our line, going from Tupper, which is inert, no nutrition, designed to be fed daily, fertigation, a real aggressive feeder. Then the King's Mix, pretty light nutrition. It's going to go away fairly quickly. So I tell people typically you can start like Tupper and feed right away. Same thing that you mentioned with basement mix, although basement mix is going to have a few more weeks worth of it in there. If your customer was running, a 4 week veg, they might be all right just running fresh water through there. Um, and then when you get to the Mendo, again, it's designed for more of an outdoor, a larger scale container, beds like you were saying.
Yep.
And there's three different release rates of nitrogen in there. So a little bit hotter mix. You definitely want to have a little established root ball going into that particular soil as well.
Definitely, definitely. I guess also a cool little thing Can you tell everybody why Tupper is called Tupper? Because a lot of people don't get that name. But when
That
I figured it out, I thought that it was genius, right?
that is a fun little one. Like you mentioned basement earlier, and basement gets a lot of people. They're like, "Oh, I'd run the basement," but so Tupper back again, I think 2007-ish when it was developed under 1,000-watt HID lamps.
Yeah.
The idea was to get 1 pound per light. With 2 per hydro style mix feeding aggressively, the idea was to get 2 per light.
Yep.
And so that's where the old 2 per came from, which is
Definitely.
which is great. I appreciate you bringing that up.
Definitely. I always love that little like, it's a good it's a cool name and even a cooler meaning, and it also brings up I think a cool little slice of like, history.
History for sure, because people instantly are like, "Oh, when's 3 per or 4 per coming out?" Well, you guys can push 2 per to that 3 per or 4 per now with what they do. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Definitely. So I guess cover some of the soils. Why don't we talk about some of the crown jewels? Because this is really exciting. Because like you said, you guys really haven't come out with too much new. I mean, like King's Mix is right the newest
yeah.
thing.
Aside from we called them the core four, being the Coco 2 per basement Mendo is what we started with. Kings has really only been our new product until the crown jewels here. So real excited about that. We're lucky enough to have a certified soil scientist give us some of his time on staff out in California. Did a lot of the research and development and the mixes here, and we're excited to have both organic certifications. The products in the bag are micronized, so in addition to being able to do a top dress or a pre-amend, you can also brew it into a tea and feed the nutrition that way as well.
That was actually one of my biggest surprises when I opened up the case and got my hands on the bag. I was so surprised of how micronized that it truly is. I was like, wow, I expected it to just be a normal granular top
Right.
dress, right? But like it's silky.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's very fine, and I've fed teas to my cannabis and my vegetables, and they both go nuts after the tea feedings. They love it. So in addition to the top dress, definitely recommend throwing a tea feeding in every now and again.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
those teas are awesome.
And we do have, it's not out yet, and I don't have a hard timeline on it, but we do have it registered in all 50 states as our PK boost. The Imperial
Nice.
boost is coming out, and that's going to come in at 01511, I believe, or 01115. But yeah, I don't have a hard timeline, like I say, but we're excited about that too, because
Yeah,
that will also carry both of the organic registrations as well.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So just an all organic bloom booster.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, guys. I mean, this stuff is awesome. As far as like an organic, input, it's really available because of that micronization, right? And it's
Yep.
also designed to be used with their soil,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So like, what would be your recommended, right? Like, I don't know, just like a rough. What would you plant into if you were gonna want to use the crown jewels?
Well, as far as application rates, or
No, no, no. Just like what base soil, right? Because you have all different types of
oh
charges.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what
for
would I guess maybe what's your personal favorite
well,
or
that's a great question too, because I run both ends of the spectrum. My vegetables are out in my raised beds with Mendo Mix that I run this on, and then on the opposite end, the Tuper is what I run in my basement for my cannabis. So I do a top dress with this. I'll do a tea feeding every so often, and then also I run some cutting edge liquid nutrition on top of it as well every so
nice?
often. It's a great base, but supplements are definitely welcome to run with it as well.
Cool, cool. So you can just throw your favorites in there.
Absolutely.
Awesome,
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Well, yeah, man. I think that we covered most of the bases here. I mean, is there any cool, you know, things about Royal Gold that just like really is like a cool thing that you want people to know?
Man, it's just a great company. I couldn't be more happy with the team that I work with. Still small, family owned. You get that vibe. Everybody feels like you're working together with a family. It's not a corporate entity where so many companies have went or been purchased into these days. It's developed by growers, it's made by growers, it's sold by growers. It's a labor of love at Royal Gold, and it's again the sustainable aspect of it too, you know, really environmentally conscious company, and that's on the forefront of all the products we develop as well.
Definitely. I think you guys really, strike that one home
Yeah,
big time. And yeah, I mean, I've been using cutting edge, sorry, Royal Gold, for, kind of when it came out. I've been using it myself and selling it since, I mean, at latest probably '08, right?
that's
So
awesome, man. We definitely appreciate the support. You guys are having a lot of great events out here, and we appreciate you bringing it to the community.
cool, man. Well, thank you very much for being
Yeah,
on, coming
definitely,
out.
dude. Thank
Yeah,
you so
man.
much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Absolutely.
Everybody, thank you very much for hanging out with us. We're going to get back to the party of the GrowActive 3rd year anniversary. So have a good one. Thank you for hanging out.
Cheers.
What did you say your name was?